Folks, today on the farm, we're going to be talking about the KUBOTA RTV X1140. Hey there, folks. This is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another beautiful day here on the Stoney Ridge. Today is hot, man. It's super, super hot. We're down here on the creek in the shade with the KUBOTA RTV X1140. So this video is by popular request. Folks have emailed me, asked me tons and tons of questions about the RTV X1140, whether I'm happy about it, what it's like, what the ownership experience is like, and what I would change if I had something to change on this machine. So come along today and we're going to learn a little bit about the KUBOTA RTV X1140 ownership experience after 2 years of ownership on this machine.
Woo! Stoney Ridge. Farm, Stoney Ridge. Stoney Ridge Farm. Woo!
Welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here, please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you back. This is a first generation farm project here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. And that's where this machine is getting put to work. So this is the KUBOTA RTV X1140. It has a little 24.8 horsepower KUBOTA diesel engine in it. It's a fully hydrostatically controlled machine, meaning it's driven by a hydrostatic transmission. It's not driven off of a belt system like your typical utility vehicle, like the John Deere Gator, the Polaris Ranger, and several other different types of vehicles. It's different than the system on the Honda Pioneer, which is a shaft drive system. There are so many advantages to having a hydrostatic transmission, but speed is not one of those advantages. So it's a torquey little monster, but it's not gonna be a speed demon. So let's go to the first complaint that I have about this machine. It is inherently super, super slow. It is so slow that I, in fact, have considered trading it for something else that is a little more peppy, because I can't drive it hardly on the road, like up the driveway right here. And we've done videos on driving it up the driveway and trying to fix this super slow issue. I thought I had a hydraulic flow issue. I also thought I had a muffler restriction issue, but it was none of the above. The machine is simply slow. So I'd be hard pressed to go over 15 or 16 miles an hour in high gear up my driveway. Typically when you're running this machine, and the average user is probably gonna use this machine running in high gear all the time. There's high and low and reverse. Very, very simple. It's a very simple machine to operate. You've got four-wheel drive. You can engage, it's right there in between the seats. It's very, very simple to engage. It's sometimes hard to get in and out of four-wheel drive. You've got to really pull the handle. Sometimes you got to get in a sweet spot when you use the shifter also. So I modified the shifter a little bit. I put a cool little pool ball on there. It's kind of fun. I've done quite a few modifications, such as a rear view mirror in the center and a mirror on each side right here. The side view mirrors are indispensable, and the rear view mirror is indispensable on this machine because it's big, it's long, it's bulky, and it's slow. So if you're driving between areas of your farm and you're out on the road or on the side of the road, then you can look and see what's coming behind you, pull off and let them go by, because really it's not it's not a highway machine. It's not a roadway machine. It's not even a gravel road machine, because the max speed I would say I've had it up to on flat ground, like right out here, is probably about 24 to 26 miles an hour. Going downhill, maybe get up to 28, something like that. It's really, really not a powerhouse of a speed demon type machine. However, it's really, really torquey, and I've found that nothing will stop those tires from spinning. In other words, I've hooked the skid steer behind it, I've hooked logs behind it, I've hooked anything and everything behind it, and it will pull, pull, pull. However, it will not pull in mud, in a muddy or sandy situation. In a muddy or sandy situation, the hydrostatic transmission will not spin the tires fast enough to get you out of a sticky, muddy situation. So that's another downfall of this machine. A lot of the downfalls or pitfalls of this machine, in my opinion, are the speed at which it operates. Now, KUBOTA has another RTV called the Sidekick. The Sidekick is hands down probably 3 times as fast as this. Is it as good of a workhorse? It's a belt-driven machine. I'm not really sure. I'll post a link at the end of this video to my Kubota Sidekick review. I really like the Sidekick. Should I have gotten a Sidekick? I don't know. The reason we got this is because you can haul more people, and we'll show you how all that works. So one of the main reasons why we bought this Kubota X1140 is because of the modular bed system that you have right here. And this is the modular bed system. I'm going to unfold it and show you exactly how it works. Basically, you pull several pins and the bed lays down, and you can have an extra large bed, which is larger than the John Deere Gator bed and larger than the Polaris Ranger bed. And I believe it's larger than the Sidekick bed. It's a big bed. It's all steel construction. We opted for the bed liner lined bed, but the bed liner, it holds up okay. I actually put a rug in the back here to keep things from slipping and sliding around, because they will slip and slide. I would not buy this machine without that bed liner, but it is chipping in a few little places. I have not beat the snot out of this machine. I have kind of babied this machine. I have been stuck in it one time, and that was in mud, and the mud was only about that deep. If you go down into a mud hole with this thing, you are not coming out, okay? I'm telling you, if it's deeper than that, you're not coming out. You just don't have enough wheel speed to get you out of a mud hole. So let's show you some more features in here. I think that this is probably the best farm utility vehicle that you can buy if you're not really in a hurry, okay? So great for hauling stuff. However, we've got some pitfalls with the bed, and we'll show you that. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to the bed system right here. And this is the modular bed system like you just saw. It folds up so you can have a 2-seat configuration, which is mainly what I use, or if you're hauling more people, you can have the 4-seat configuration. You can actually probably fit 5 people in, but there are only seat belts for 4. So I don't advocate that you put more than it's supposed to have. The bed capacity and the tow capacity are somewhere around the 1,000 to 1,200 pound range. I don't know the exact numbers. I don't think you're gonna overload this machine. I really don't think you're gonna overload it. I've had this bed stacked full of rocks before, and it is a hydrostatically dumped bed, so it's hydraulically controlled. The same controls that control the steering, control the drive mechanism, and control the hydrostatic dump bed. And it goes up and down just like that. It's awesome, super fast. Here is a downfall, and there are a couple downfalls to this bed system right here, and I hope somebody from Kubota might be watching this, because this is stuff that your customers want, okay guys? So when I reach to open my tailgate, I need to reach for one handle like a pickup truck, because I'll be carrying something in my arm, and I'll come up here and I can't open the bed without using both hands. So I've got to sit down what I have, reach over here, and grab this latch system. Now that latch system has been in place for a long time with Kubota. It's tried and true. It's lasted. It works. It's solid. It's great. However, it's not as handy as a single handle right here. So I think that that's something that could definitely be improved upon with the next generation RTV. Really could be. Kubota, I hope you're listening. So when it comes down to it, I can set my tailgate down right here, and I can sit on the bed of my Kubota RTV, or me and a buddy can sit out here on the tailgate of the Kubota RTV. And one of the downfalls of this machine is this bed will slowly tilt back. It's been back to the dealership to ask about this problem, to address this problem prior to the warranty expiring. And this is just something that this machine does. In my opinion, if I lay 5 50-pound bags of grass seed right here, and I'm out here working on the farm, and I'm loading up my hopper to seed the grass, it's gonna dump. It's gonna dump out, so I've really got to keep an eye on it. It will tilt all the way back, and I have put chicken feed on the back of this thing and or grass seed on the back of this thing, and came back in the morning and it was all in the floor and the bed was tilted all the way up. You'll see when I get up, and you'll probably hear that the bed, I mean, it's already moved probably 2.5 inches. Watch when I stand up, you'll hear it. See that? In my opinion, that should not be. There should be some sort of valve that controls that to keep it from dumping out when you're not operating the machine. Now, I've set it in all different settings, the float setting, the down setting, the up setting, and this is what it does. It just does this. It sags if you sit weight on the tailgate, which to me, is fairly unacceptable. Something needs to be done about that. Now we're at the back of the machine right here, and there's a mirror up here, okay? So this mirror is made so if you turn around and look back, you can see down into something. I'd have no idea what that mirror is for. If you guys know, let me know. If you use this mirror all the time on your machine, let me know. This, in my opinion, is just something that's in the way. It's not helping me do anything. I guess I could look back in here. It's a convex mirror. So I can look in here and I can see what's in the bed and whether it's flopping around or whatever. But I mean, I really honestly see no point in this mirror. It's just something that's gonna get whacked or broken. It hasn't gotten broken yet, and it's been 2 years, so maybe it's okay. There are a couple more issues with this foldable modular bed system here, and we're gonna show you those issues. It makes for a person that's not very mechanically inclined or is a little bit weaker with their hands. It makes it a little bit tough. Anybody who uses this modular bed system for the first time always struggles with this, and I'll show you. There is a latch system right here. This latch system is how this inside folds in. We'll show you how to use it. I've done this over and over and over again. You take 2 fingers, turn it up, pull straight back. It's still tight, so sometimes you gotta kind of tap it here. There we go. Pull it straight back, fold it over and in, okay? Very, very simple. That seems simple enough. Lining up this pin to go into the bed is a bit of a pain in the butt the first few times you do this, or if you have weaker hands. And you can see it's not lined up perfectly, so you gotta kind of do the same thing, kind of give it a little push and tap, okay? That, to me, is a little bit of a struggle, and it's really, really hard. My wife could not even do that. She could not get that into place. So this system leaves a little bit of room for improvement. I desire some improvement in that system. There needs to be something that's a little bit better to make that a little easier. The other side is a little tougher than this one. So let's show you this side real quick. Same thing, twist it. It won't pull back with 2 fingers. You gotta tap it. It's stuck, okay? This was really, really hard. It's still hard. It's hard for me to get it unlocked. This folds down. And when we fold this up, look at the trash that's in the bed. Typically your bed's not gonna be pristine and super, super clean, okay? So we ran into situations where a little piece of trash or rock would get into this seam right here and cause a problem with the bed. So when we folded the bed up, it went pop. So let's see if it does it right now. We'll lay this down and you'll hear stuff crunching in there. Hear all that? Hear that trash? So we tip it up, tip it back. The best thing to do when you're getting ready to do this is go ahead and dump your bed out. 2 hands again, tailgate down. This thing starts up on a dime. Listen. Okay, little handle here, we'll dump the bed back. These little D-rings sometimes will hold debris in place. I have never, in the history of using this machine, attached anything to those D-rings. There are 6 of them inside the bed. We'll shake it a little bit. There we go. The modular bed system is better, but there can still see there's some little rocks and pebbles that are stuck in this little crack right here. Probably much like yourself, I was a little bit concerned with this whole modular bed system, the way it folds up, and trash falling down through these cracks, because it's definitely not sealed all the way across the very back or across the center of the bed. Does this put a lot of trash down in your floorboard or in your seat? Not in the seat so much, but you do get a little bit of trash in the floorboard up there, because that very back seam is right over top of the rear floorboard. Is that a deal breaker? No. I think for the modular capability of this bed, to where we can have a huge bed, almost the size of a pickup truck bed, and be able to flip it up and haul 4 people, I think that modular bed system definitely outweighs the cons of having a little bit of dust fall down on the floorboard. Floorboard gets dust, it's no big deal. Fold the bed, flip that down, up we go. That's it. You can see this is kind of a dirty area right here. Right here is where you access your engine for checking your oil, everything that you need to access there, and your seat belts are right here, okay? So this cover, there's a little dust cover right here. It's not an impenetrable dust cover. but this thing is super, super easy to service. I've got several service videos out about this machine. Hey, you can see there's a little bit of damage that's happened right here, and the reason that damage happened is because of rocks and pebbles getting hung up in there, and there's a little pebble in there right now that could cause more damage. You guys are gonna hear some country sounds. I've got a guy helping me weed eat today. He's over by the pond. So this is the operator station. Let's talk a little bit about the operator station. You do have tilt steering, which is super, super handy, especially for those shorter people. You have an adjustable seat, so you can slide the seat forward and back. I did have to replace the pan that's underneath the seat. Now the seats fold up for storage, so you've got half a seat that folds up over here, and there's a storage compartment under there, and you've got the whole seat that folds up right here. This seat inevitably collapses the tray that's underneath it. So I'm a big guy. I'm 6'5", but I'm not that big, okay? So it collapsed on me, and it was not a warranty item, it was a wear item. So it was a $40 replacement, not a big deal, but the replacement is starting to wear through right now also. Your dump bed handle is right here. Very, very simple, very easy to use. Your locking differential handle is right here. It's very, very simple to use. You also have a foot peg for the locking differential. Your four-wheel drive is right here in the center. Your drive mechanisms, everything's right here. I do love, love, love the handbrake that's right here instead of in the center, because you're inevitably sliding back and forth across this seat. One thing of note about sliding back and forth across this seat: you have a cigarette lighter control. Basically, your charging port is in the very center right here. I frequently will hit my knee on that. I would say that that needs to be in a position that you cannot rake across it with your knee if you're sliding across the seat right here, okay? And this is not a bench seat, but it's almost a bench seat. This machine is absolutely fantastic with the mirrors. I'll post links to the mirror systems that we have here in the video description. It is super, super, super handy to have. Cup holders, I think it leaves something to desire. There are two cup holders right here. Frequently, I find myself with a water bottle just set in between the two seats. There are no cup holders in the back whatsoever. Now, there used to be a safety handle right here. It basically comes up to the edge of your hip. I found that that was in the way and very cumbersome getting on and off this machine. I've got fairly short shorts on today, but if you have longer shorts, you can hook them on this tab right here, and this is where you do your diff lock. So you mash your foot down here, lift up, and that locks the diff in place, okay? And then when you get ready to release it, you just press your pedal, and that pops down. I catch my pants leg constantly on this thing as I'm getting off the vehicle. I'll slide this way, and if I've got a little bit longer short, it will catch. Now you might be thinking, I'm a farmer, I don't wear shorts. Man, it's hot out here, dude. I wear shorts all the time on the farm. You can farm with shorts on, I promise. So how much room does the back seat have? A lot. Again, I'm 6'5", man. This has a lot of room in the back seat. Very, very comfortable for the passengers. Again, no cup holders back here, so you really you can stash stuff in front of you or behind you. But I think Kubota probably could have come up with some cup holder designs, maybe mounted to the back of the seat or something like that. Not a deal breaker at all. However, it would be nice to have a good cup holder right here. Definitely plenty of room, and this has that sidebar also. I would not remove the sidebar for the rear passenger. Whenever you're running a utility vehicle like this on your property or on your farm, you're constantly in and out of your driver's seat. So you need things to be really ergonomic for when you jump on and jump off of this machine. Like I said, you're always in and out of the seat. Always. Let's talk about accessibility under the hood. And I didn't wash this thing for this review because I wanted you guys to see exactly what you get if you're running this machine. I did put a train horn on here just for fun. It does come factory with a horn. It also comes factory with these guards right here to keep leaves, dirt, debris, grass, seed, all that stuff out of your cooling system. So I have not had to clean these, but maybe once or twice if I'm going through really, really tall grass. Everything's easily accessible. This is your cooling system, your brakes, your air filter, everything. The air filter is located in an awesome spot where you don't get a whole lot of dust, so that's super, super handy. Now, we had a John Deere 825i Gator, and the headlights were absolutely inferior on that machine. This machine has awesome, awesome headlights, really, really good headlights. Now, what I will say is The brake lights, the rear lights are kind of a little bit inferior, I guess. You can get a kit to run this thing on the road with turn signals and all that jazz, but it does not have reverse lights, backup lights. So it's got these little bitty, I don't know if you can see them, those little bitty lights right there, and no reverse lights. So if you put it in reverse, nothing lights up in the rear. So pretty much one of the upgrades that I'm gonna do to this is put a light bar on the back of it that comes on when you put the machine into reverse. It's nice to have, especially in those cool season months when you're running this thing after dark. And I'm running this thing a lot after dark in the wintertime. So without further ado, let's take it for a little ride and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on as we're driving around. We're gonna get a little bit of farm chores done here. So we'll turn on the key. Everything lights up very, very nicely. You can see we have 334 hours on this machine. Once we start it, it will show the miles. So here we go. Has to be in neutral in order to start. Fires right up. 1,872 miles. Tires are holding up really, really nicely. It's loud. It is loud. Another complaint that I have, it's super, super loud. So if you're trying to have a conversation in here while we're driving, forget about it. You gotta yell. Get ready, it's gonna be loud. I opted for the windshield right here, and this is your air conditioning. There's a little slot, this slides, that closes it, that opens it. A lot of what I use this for is checking fence lines, taking a chainsaw along with me, picking up rocks and stuff like that all over the farm. We're backing up here to a little bit of firewood, and we'll go ahead and load that firewood up and we'll take it and dump it on the fire pit over here. Now, as you can see, even with the bed folded up in the 4-seat configuration, you still got a lot of room in the back of this thing. And another little complaint, and I'm being real nitpicky here, the turning radius is not good. Oftentimes, you'll get into a situation where you're just gonna have to stop and back up. It's a long machine, and therefore the turning radius is not as good as an ATV, I guess, and really not as good as my my little Honda Element. This thing does not turn on a dime. We'll show you. That's about it. You see the wheel just doesn't turn really, really sharp. Now, if you're farming, you want to know whether you can fit a round hay bale in here, a 4x5 or a 5x5 round hay bale. Yes, you can. However, you better go and dump that hay bale pretty quickly because the top extends out over the bed just a little bit. You'll be sitting your hay bale kind of on the tailgate area and it will start to sag. So if you leave that hay bale on the back of this machine for longer than about 30 minutes, it's gonna be off on the ground. Kubota, you know, I'm a Kubota fan, but something needs to be done about that in my opinion. The bed should not dump back like that. All right, so the gist of this is, would I buy this machine again for the farm? Absolutely. This is an awesome, awesome farm machine. I like the fact that the bed is modular so that you don't have to run it in the 4-seat configuration like the Polaris Ranger XP 1000, okay? So it's got a bigger bed, and most of the time when you're doing some work, it's just gonna be you and a partner or a friend. So I think I give this thing an 8.5. An 8.5 out of 10. Is it the best farm machine made for hauling 4 people around the farm? I don't know, guys. You let me know for sure. John Deere has yet to come out with something comparable to this, in my opinion, and the other guys just don't touch it. For reliability, for durability, I think this machine is awesome. For getting stuck in the mud and slinging rooster tails, that's not what it's for. That's not what it's made for. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little review of the Kubota RTV X1140. After owning it for around 2 years, a little over 2 years, I've done several services on it. It's very, very simple to service. Battery is a little difficult to get to. I just pulled the cover off of it and I just leave it uncovered because I'm constantly going around and jumping off farm equipment with this thing also. Complaint-wise, I think the complaints are this big. and the benefits are this big. It's an awesome, awesome machine, guys. Please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you back here. Kubota is not sponsoring this. This is me. This is a machine that I bought. This is what I use on the farm every day. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge, bring your wife